fast you were going?
What? How fast you were going?
I don't know. 10?
8.
Be advised, this is an explicit podcast. If you're easily offended, get your panties twisted into a knot. Leave now. Run to your safe space. Get your little cloth for your tears. All the opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and his guest and do not reflect the opinions of any local or government agency. Welcome to MOTORCOP Chronicles podcast. Your host, the Iceman. Don't have a guest. That's my most difficult part. Do the normal stuff. Go like, subscribe, hit the bell, share with your friends. All that good business. Go check out the Etsy store. We got a private group on Facebook called the MOTORCOP Clubhouse. If you'd like to join or request to join that, go right ahead. Post extra stuff in that also. With that out the way. I've talked about this before. About doing a short little episode on the Brady List stuff. So figure it's a good time as any to do it. As this one's coming out, I'm probably either on my way or already in Mississippi going to a motorcycle competition over there. So I am pre-recording this one. I want to thank all the listeners and followers and stuff like that. Y'all want that makes this fun to do. I was notified last night, so another short business. One of a listener, he graduated from their post academy yesterday. So, like I said, I don't say names and stuff. I want to congratulate him. I know he's been at it for months and months, training and going to school, and he did graduate. So, lots of congratulations. Good luck. Definitely watch your back. Like I told you last night, I hope you get a good FTO and pay attention to them. Hopefully help keep you alive out on the streets out there. So, on what we're going to talk about, the Brady List. I'm assuming people that listen to this are, familiar with law enforcement or in law enforcement. Most law enforcement people should know what the Brady List is. If you don't, the Brady List was a result of a U.S. Supreme Court case back in 1963. It was Brady versus Maryland, and basically it states that prosecutors are required to notify defense attorneys of evidence that may exonerate defendants. The so-called Brady List is a list completed by district attorneys that they keep of law enforcement officers and other government officials who lie, who compromise their integrity or judgment, leave important information out of reports that may show that their client or the bad guy or non-bad guy is innocent. Basically, you just showing that you're not credible, which if y'all have heard me plenty of times say, don't lie. I don't care how much, if you're going to get in trouble, you're going to get in trouble. Don't lie about it. If you make a shit sandwich, eat your shit sandwich. It seems like some agencies are better at keeping Brady List than other ones, I believe. Some stuff I've been reading, stuff like that. Just because you get just because you get on a Brady List, which you never want to do, don't mean you're going to get fired or you're gonna not be able to be a cop. But the problem is it basically makes you ineffective. Because if it gets brought out, and especially if it's jury trial or something, it's like he's on a Brady list because, you know, John Doe, Joe Blow the cop lied on the stand or didn't put down a statement from a witness that would have basically, you know, exonerated the person being charged or something like that. So when you get on a stand, the judge is going to look at you or the jury's going to look at you, and basically, you know, they just straight up have to tell everybody that you've already lied once, and if you keep, so it's a good chance you've done it more than once. That's the time you got caught and stuff like that. So you do not want to get put on that list at all. It is not good. You can destroy your career. You get fired. A lot of times you just get fired over it because an agency is not going to want to keep you around if they can't trust you either. So I went over and looked at a whole bunch of was reading. I'm not reading people's names. I mean, I was surprised at how long the list was of most of it looks like all former law enforcement people just in Louisiana, and it shows what you know. A lot of them, you know, got put on there and lost their careers. Some were arrested. Some because it shows a lot of them shows why they were placed on the Brady list. A lot of them were arrested for stuff. I read one. It was shocking. I was like, this cop like stole like 86 guns. I don't know the case. I don't know the case. I was just looking at why 86 guns. I mean, did they steal them from a business? Like an alarm go off, and you know sometimes you go there and the door's left unlocked, and you go in to clear it. And was it like a business that sold weapons? And they say, well, hell, I'll just help myself to some. I mean, I don't understand why some people do stuff like that. They have some jurisdictions have a zero tolerance. I think most probably should. Arkansas and New York State Police, they have zero tolerance. Once you're found to be untruthful, you are fired. In California, though, go figure, Public Safety Procedural Bill of Rights prohibits an agency from taking any adverse action simply because an officer has been placed on the Brady list. It does not stop them from disciplining the officer for underlying conduct, which led to him being placed on the list. Like I said, there's all kinds of reasons to get put on. But basically, like I said before, you just don't lie. You don't want to be put on that list ever. The reason I even brought up and looked at it is I was having a conversation with someone a few months ago about this stuff. It's like, and the question got posed, if once you get put on a Brady list, is there any way to ever get off of a Brady list? You know, so I did. I mean, it seems like with everything I've read about, the only way to get taken off of the Brady list would be by the district attorney that placed you on it. Seems to me. But once you've already, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what they say and you were mistruthful about. I mean, I know, you know, some people, you can get put on there, like I said, for leaving out or omitting certain things on the case. I know one where, you know, the guy got, you know, relinquished of duty and put on a list because it wasn't for lying per se, but I think it was for omitting, leaving something out. and I don't know why, but it was basically, instead of putting in the report that another cop had made the stop, and he got called over there, and I think it was a drug arrest, and this other person just, it basically sounded like in the report that he made the stop and not the other cop. I mean, was it oversight? I mean, is it really that important who stopped him? I don't know. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an administrator or anything like that, but just something that minute, something that you don't think would make a difference, cost a man, dearly. So just like I said, just make sure you put everything on there. I've heard, hasn't been told to me. I've seen it done and heard it done. Where if you ever have, if you're in law enforcement, have a supervisor that tells you that you're putting too much information in the report. Is it really too much information, or is it just the truth? I'd rather, and as a supervisor at one time, I would rather have too much information in the report than not enough. And why wouldn't you want to put all the information in there? I mean, you're trying to hide something trying to be hidden. Why wouldn't you want all the information to go in there? I know when I'm a traffic cop. Even when I just write a traffic crash report, if I'm on the scene of a crash and let's say driver one, which is we usually write up as the at fault vehicle. Driver one is standing there, and driver two is the person that got hit, the least at fault or not at fault vehicle. Driver two is pissed off because his car got hit, or his truck got hit, or him, whatever. And they're looking at, and they like, I come up and they're like, this stupid motherfucker, this bitch, this cut, blah, 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 cussing, all that stuff like that. Guess what I put in the report? I don't put down that driver two seemed extremely agitated or mad or aggravated or something like that. I put in, when I spoke to driver two what happened, or asked them what happened, driver two stated that, quote, basically, when I quoted, that stupid motherfucker wasn't paying attention behind them, and that's what's in the report. If that's how they said it to me, that's how I'll write it in there. I can omit it. That's what they said. Period. They're going to discipline me for using cuss words in the report. That was a statement that this person said. That was exactly what they said. That's what I wrote down. Exactly what it. I mean that. But to me, there can never be too much information in a report. If that's what happened, that's what you saw. That's what you put down. So I don't understand some of these supervisors that have said that. I've heard them tell somebody, "Oh, you're putting too much information in there." Why? How is it too much? I don't believe that. There's never too much information. The more you can put in there, the easier it can make for the detective to work the case, or you to work the case, or whatever, or an insurance company investigator figure out who's at wrong, or whatever thing you're working, a burglary or something like that. I mean, it's a rape case. There can't be too much information. The more information they have, the better they have a chance of solving whatever crime might have been committed. So if you're a supervisor out there and tell your people they're putting too much information in a report, you need to go reevaluate what you're looking at in reports. It's the ice man's opinion anyway, because I don't believe you can have too much information in a report. I mean, what you're trying to hide something. I mean, you shouldn't be trying to hide anything. Recently, since we're talking about the Brady List and people lying, like I said, the only way I believe you can get off of it is from the DA's office that put you on there. And I've never heard of anything of that happening. I think I read on one online just today. No, I'm sorry, it was yesterday. I was researching, and I think somebody got taken off of one once it was reviewed. So, but you got to be truthful. They're recently in this area. And I don't know what the hell people are thinking. I'm gonna pull up my news stories here because I just looked at it this morning. Let me get this other news site. There was a former, pretty sure it's former. She's been arrested, I believe, and charged with some stuff. Here it is. We'll just about this. I'll just play the video once we get past the commercial part of it.
Is it termites? The season is now.
So,
At J&J Exterminating, we offer some very effective weapons.
this was a law enforcement person that I don't know what they were thinking. He seemed like to be one of those department jumpers. Let me pause it and we'll get it started up. All right, and this guy worked for 3 different agencies in the last few years. But so listen up, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. This is about just being truthful, doing your job.
Evidence flew under the radar for several months.
The officer accused of taking the evidence mentioned drugs and guns in his reports, but for some reason, no one caught it. Here's lead investigator Scotty Hunter.
One officer, 2 law enforcement agencies, and 2 instances where evidence he was supposed to take off the streets and put into evidence never made it there. At the West Feliciana Sheriff's Office and the Baton Rouge Police Department, former officer Benjamin Zarang is accused of stealing evidence. At the Sheriff's Office, it was synthetic marijuana. He allegedly took the drugs in January last year, but it wasn't flagged until months later in June when the case went to court and the evidence was nowhere to be found. At BRPD, he was accused of taking guns from traffic stops in 2018 and 2019. In that case, the alleged theft wasn't discovered until 4 years later when kids found the guns dumped in a trash pile in Central. In both of these cases, the officer did mention the evidence in his reports, but what he confiscated was never turned in.
This is a real dilemma in law enforcement, and it shouldn't be happening, and there's no reason for it to happen.
Law enforcement expert Dr. Andrew Scott is a former police chief and has more than 30 years of experience in law enforcement. He says having evidence missing for months or years is unacceptable.
Should there be some kind of internal mechanism to make sure that does get to evidence?
Well, the internal mechanism is really simple. Every day, supervisors review their officers' reports, and in that report, depending on the title, the name, the nature, the sergeant should be saying to him or herself, there should be some evidence that either was found or looked for, and to query that officer.
We asked both agencies why the missing evidence flew under the radar without being caught. A spokesperson with BRPD told us in the past it has been up to the officer to do the right thing and get the evidence where it needs to go. But we're told last year the agency began an internal audit related to evidence and is already making changes. In a statement, we're told the review determined several areas of improvement, including audit accountability, supervisory accountability, and enhanced training. When we asked the West Feliciana Sheriff's Office, the sheriff told us the problem with Zarang was a one-time issue, but they too have made changes because of it, saying, quote, "We have used new technology and other resources to ensure that evidence makes it to the right place, and we also regularly audit the process to ensure its success." Scott tells me those changes should make a difference, but even with the best policies in place, some things may still slip through the cracks.
There's a lot of things that can be done. Is it an absolute...
I don't need to hear from him anymore. They're so-called expert. But this guy here, he worked for Baton Rouge City Police Department and what was that? West Feliciana Sheriff's Office and another agency also, but I don't think he had any issues. I don't believe he had any issues at the other agency. I don't want to assume, so I don't know. That agency wasn't listed in the where he failed to turn anything in that, so we're not going to say that. But he worked for 3 different agencies, so I understand some people move around, but he moved around a lot. I don't believe he, from reading the story and listening to it also and some other news stuff, I don't believe this guy was stealing the weapons, because if he was stealing the handguns, that he would have kept them. He wouldn't. And first of all, he didn't throw the guns in the trash. It's confusing on the story. This guy had moved. This Duran guy had moved, I guess, from wherever he lived at in Central, and I guess left. You know, when you move, you leave shit behind. I don't know if this shit was in the attic or what, but the new homeowner, I guess, who bought the place, was just clearing it out. Was like grabbing, just boxes and just throwing it out. And I guess, I'm nosy because I'm a cop. If I'm cleaning the place out that I just bought, I'm going to look and see what's in stuff. I don't believe this person did. He's just throwing shit out, and one of the boxes happened to have 2 guns in it with loaded extended magazines accompanying them. And fortunately, the children that did find these were smart enough to bring the guns home and give them to their mom. They didn't take the guns, load them, fire them. It could have been a big time tragedy. The missing drug things, I don't know. But if you think with the gun issue with 4 years, that would have been, if he made an arrest or something on that would have been a trial at some point in time. You would think. So you think he'd have got caught sooner than that? I mean, the case would have got dismissed because it's missing evidence, of course, but you think he would have got caught way before that. What it sounds like to me on this guy here, and like I said, this is my opinion, and I'm assuming, it sounds like he wanted to have, kind of like when you watch these cop shows, Cops or like Live PD when it was out and all that crap like that. And people's like, oh, you heard Live PD's coming back on the, I'm like, yeah, well, I didn't really watch it before. It's kind of like watching work. So, but with the TV shows, these reality TV cop shows especially, do not show you is after all the running and gunning and fighting and arresting people and catching the bad guys and doing this, they don't show you the amount of paperwork that goes into it on the back end. There's a lot. You got your paperwork. You got to write reports. You got to submit your evidence. There's a lot of stuff you got to do. You got to book people in jail when they get arrested. I mean, they don't show you that on TV because it's boring. No one wants to watch somebody sitting there writing a report for half an hour to an hour or more. Turning in evidence, sealing evidence, doing the submittal form sheets that can be submitted to the crime lab and all this stuff like that. It's boring. They don't want to show you that. It sounds like this guy wanted to do all the fun stuff and none of the boring stuff. It's just, if you want to make those arrests, you want to take drugs off of people, you have to do the paperwork that comes along with it. They charged him with theft. I don't think he was trying to steal it. If he was trying to steal it, he'd have brought the guns. If he had just brought these guns with him when he moved, this would probably never happen. I mean, he wouldn't have got caught, most likely. But obviously, like I said, he just lazy, it sounds like to me. Probably put him up, I'm going to do it later, and, just didn't do it and forgot about it. So, I don't believe he'd have left the 2 guns at this place he moved from if he'd have remembered that they were there. So the theft part, I can see where they're charging him with the theft, but do I think he stole it? No. I think he's just lazy. He wants to do the fun part and not the boring part. And you got to do the boring part. Now he's going to have a criminal record, and I guarantee he'll never work in law enforcement again. And there's a good chance he'll get put on some type of Brady List, because I'm pretty sure they're going to post, Louisiana Post people are going to decertify him, is what they call it, and pull all his post certificates where he will not be post certified anymore. So, lying, I don't know. I don't know if he's a liar. Me personally, I don't think this guy's a liar. I think he's just lazy. But it all goes into the same thing, If you don't lie, like I said, I always say that. Go back on several other podcasts. I talked about it on Things Police See when I was a guest on that with Steve Gould. I think I mentioned it also on a 10-8 podcast I was recently a guest on. Steve Gould, Things Police See, just recently got in touch with me. I think we're going to do a little collaboration thing coming up, and we're gonna record something together again. If y'all have never listened to him, go listen to him. Steve Go's a extremely great guy. He's nice, knowledgeable. He's a good host and stuff like that. It's one of the podcasts that I do listen to all the time. I did this. I'll give y'all a list of what I listen to in case y'all want to listen to some different podcasts and listen to the same thing the Iceman does. Had another recent one. I was going to probably, I may try to do a little, another, it won't be live, it'll just be audio, a little Louisiana crime. And let me tell y'all what, shit in Louisiana is like going like wild. Just completely crazy over here. I mean, you'd think we were in like Chicago or New York, California. The way people are freaking just breaking the law and murdering and shooting and doing all this other crap. I mean, it's actually it is freaking crazy. I'll just save those for the other one. I'll probably record something and just put it out too, since I'm gonna be gone. So this went a little bit longer than I expected it to go, because I didn't think it would be a long episode. But like I said, this comes out. I'm put it out Sunday evening. I'm not gonna be in town. Again, the Wednesday midweek news. We'll not have a live show. We're gonna put something out. It's gonna be audio, but it won't be live. Me and Holster will probably record something tonight or something like that. And if you're a member on the Facebook page, pay attention. I'll probably be doing going live quite a few times at motorcycle competition. Like I said, join the MOTORCOP Clubhouse. Go check out the merchandise at the Etsy store. I got the new allegedly shirts on there. It says, we love that word allegedly. And it says allegedly the funniest Leo podcast around. I'm waiting on the sample of. I've heard the MOTORCOP for Life episodes. He's been on twice. He's a great guy. I consider him a friend. I enjoy conversations with him. They got the sweat towels I put on there. If y'all seen them, it says it smells like warrants and suspended licenses outside. We could do a T-shirt like that. I'm waiting on that sample to come in, so hopefully it'll be in soon, and that'll be on the back of it, which would be pretty cool. So I'll have to check that out also, and it helps pay the bills a little bit here. I mean, if not, I'm not going away. I'm just keep paying it out of pocket. It just helps when it don't cost me quite as much. But come back and listen Wednesday. So I'll probably have an extra episode come out this week also. Hey, y'all wish me luck. It's been quite a few years since I did any competition, and my old ass gonna need it. So stay safe. Watch your back. Watch your partner's back. Remember, always tell the truth, and remember to smile, because the Iceman could always be behind you.
Taking shots at the enemy, I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything. I pop off with the new rock, electronic, blow the sonic roof up. I'm too honest when I take a few shots. They're too toxic, need to take the noose off. And you cannot save me, 'cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough disease. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who are half-nots. You are not as tough as tracks and some music that but you never guess. I don't slack, don't lose, learn your lesson yet. When I get to choose what I do, I'm like a weapon. I'm not sharp as many, but got hard. I'm ready to change scars to envy, to win large and plenty. I like to play fast, never change back. Calling out, I'll pay back, cause I'm great at that. Oh, you cannot save me, cause I don't need saving. It's everything I've been chasing, all here for the taking. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough defeat. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who were half-nots. You were not as tough though. Don't wanna test your luck with me, I think I've had enough defeat. I'm sick of all the bad thoughts, people who were half-nots, who were not as tough as